Well, after a Premier League title, a Europa League and FA Cup, 2 League Cup titles, 3 Community Shields, 2 Premier League Golden Gloves and 4 Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year awards, David De Gea called time on his 12-year stay at Manchester United following the announcement. One might have expected an outpouring of positive emotion for the Spanish shot stopper, which there was, but there was also a large proportion of the fan base that were happy to see him go. Why, may you ask? His way of playing football, or lack thereof, as a goalkeeper did not align with the vision of Man United coach Erik ten Hag. Here to tell us more about that vision and who is likely to replace De Gea at Manchester and why is our very own analyst, Lige Williams. Lige, welcome to the discussion here on De Gea's looming departure from Manchester United. How does this story grab you?
Well, it's something that I expected. De Gea, to be put it very kindly, wasn't performing to optimal levels last season. A lot of people would think that was only with the ball that he was making mistakes, but I'll disprove that as the segment goes on. But first, I'd like to touch on why he's being replaced in the first place, the main reason. Erik ten Hag is a Dutch coach. He has Dutch coaching philosophies. So essentially, Dutch footballers, many may know, or if they don't know, I'll inform you. They like total football. They like everyone that's playing in the 11 to be involved in play, to be able to play with their feet. And that started from the 70s, you know, Johan Cruyff, Rinus Michels coaching the team in that lovely Dutch team that went to 2 World Cup finals. But then beyond that, we saw that, you know, coaches like to prioritize distribution in a different way when it comes down to throwing out the ball. We saw in the 90s in terms of Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman. But with the rule changes in football where we saw that goalkeepers couldn't just pick up the ball like one time anymore, so it went back to goalkeeping with their feet in terms of playing out. Van der Sar was a pioneer in that regard in terms of a Dutch keeper doing it. And then now we fast forward to De Gea. He wasn't up to scratch, one might say. We actually have some clips of some mistakes he made this season. And it's not only necessarily in terms of what he did in terms of giving the ball away in and around his box. It's the lack of control that he offered Manchester United as well. But in terms of a straight-up mistake here, I remember this pass causing a lot of controversy at the time because of Maguire also made a mistake. But as a goalkeeper playing out, that's not a mistake that you should be making because you can see the entire field. This is a lovely angle of it. He can see the entire field, who is open, who is not. And that brings me to a very important point, which is the intent of the goalkeeper. Intent is extremely important. Intent and confidence is extremely important in what happens as a ball-playing goalkeeper. That pass was weak. It wasn't on Maguire's strong foot for him to be able to turn out of the pressure as well. So there was a lot of issues with that generally. And just here you can see his lack of confidence coming out as well. So that's extremely important in terms of what De Gea wasn't doing well. They're likely to replace him with Andre Onana. As many people would have seen from the Champions League final, he's a goalkeeper that's extremely comfortable with the ball at his feet. He did extremely well with that, as opposed to De Gea in this clip. What is he doing there 30 yards out from his goal? Can't even control it. Onana, on the other hand, he put on a ball-playing clinic in the Champions League final, the biggest game of his career. He looked like he was completely unfazed. So in terms of that, it's just night and day in comparison. But it's not only the ball-playing. Although Onana is a beautiful ball-playing goalkeeper, we have some clips of that as well. UEFA had to compile it because of the great performance that it was in that regard. But in terms of just overall goalkeeping, De Gea has regressed dramatically. Onana is better than De Gea in terms of European goalkeeping, in terms of his save percentage, passes attempted, long ball completion percentage, and crosses stopped. And this is a very crucial point in terms of stopping crosses. We all know, if you watch Manchester United, you would know Donald, you would know Sir Lance. De Gea does not come off of his line for corners or crosses. That is extremely important. De Gea is actually in the bottom 3 percentile for goalkeepers in all of Europe's top 7 leagues. That's including Portugal and the Netherlands for claiming crosses. That is abysmal. because he just sticks to his line, so that invites pressure instead of trying to stop it. And in the end, shot prevention is better than shot stopping. So yes, De Gea can pull out some lovely saves from time to time. However, if you're constantly giving the ball away to the opposition, that's not going to be anything good for you, because you'll just be inviting more and more pressure into your team. So it's very important that Manchester United will do this and cause this change, and it will impact their team greatly. We saw with Arsenal, for example. Aaron Ramsdale to Bernd Leno. I am an Arsenal fan, as you can see. I made sure to represent boldly here. But in terms of Leno to Ramsdale, Leno, I kid you not, is probably better, quote unquote, at every or majority of goalkeeping things than Aaron Ramsdale is. He actually has maintained a higher passing accuracy and long ball percentage and save percentage than Ramsdale since leaving. However, it's the type of passes. In football, in terms of build-up, the type of passes is much more important than the pass just being accurate. You have to be able to pass to the player's stronger foot. You have to be able to pass the ball with the right amount of fizz and weight. Bernd Leno was just passing accurately for accuracy's sake. Ramsdale is splitting lines, and in football build-up, there's a saying that a clip pass from a goalkeeper to a fullback is the most important pass in football, because of how secure it allows the build-up to be. We can see for a team like Brighton. I'm glad that Brighton have been so excellent in terms of build-up. Brighton, ability-wise, in terms of their players, yes, they have some great players. They aren't world-class players, most of them. However, because their build-up is so secure, they're able to dominate teams and become one of the best teams in the league since Roberto De Zerbi came into the league. So I say all of this to say, this long soliloquy, I say all of it to say that Andre Onana is the best acquisition Manchester United could have made in this transfer window. He's a top 5 ball-playing goalkeeper. He's not the perfect shot stopper or goalkeeping generally. But in terms of just being able to help Manchester United in their build-up phase, which is the most important phase in football, Andre Onana is more important to Manchester United, even if they were to sign Harry Kane. And it's going to sound crazy, but if you look at football on a total basis, you'll definitely understand what I'm saying. I'm sure the producer is saying that I'm talking way too much. And of course, we have interactive and such to come. But thank you very much for your time. Sorry, lads, Donald, you can see me out.
I think Donald had something to say, but I'm not sure if he still has anything to say.
No, that's all, folks. We'll be right back. Stay with us.